Have you ever closed your eyes on a winter evening, wondering if the way you love is enough, that little flutter in your chest, whispering what if I didn't do what was needed? Sometimes the question surfaces during late-night dishes, forgotten laundry in the washer, a school backpack opened too quickly, where crumpled papers and snack crumbs spill out. We see ourselves at the edge of a bed, nightlight glowing, trying to understand a tear that cannot name itself, anger overflowing, fear seeking refuge. We want to fix everything, then remember that life doesn't get repaired, it gets lived through, step by step, hand in hand when possible, at a distance when necessary. In this in-between space exists a way of being a mother that doesn't seek perfection but honesty, a way that holds steady and welcomes, a way that resembles soft light behind sheer curtains. Perhaps you've felt it on those rushed mornings when the alarm rings too early, coffee growing cold on the table while you tie a scarf, slip on shoes, search for keys while laughing at yourself. Or those evenings when you come home late, and despite exhaustion you take a deep breath before opening the door, offering a peaceful face to those who look at you. You've learned that you can be present without explaining everything, soothe without erasing, guide without holding back, and this rightness isn't taught in books, it's invented in daily life. When a child melts down in the cereal aisle or gets angry over something small, there's the urge to say it's nothing, and there's the courage to say I see you. Saying I see you means leaving space for emotion to unfold, gently naming what trembles, granting the right to anger and sadness without condemning them. You can try this simple gesture, get down to their level, breathe slowly, place your hand on your chest to remember that you too feel, then say I hear, that this is difficult, I'm here. This small ritual changes the scene. The supermarket becomes a learning place, home becomes a solid cabin where storms can pass without sweeping everything away. Accepting the shadow of emotions means offering your child the possibility of feeling whole, neither good at all costs nor excessive to exist, just alive and worthy of being loved as they are. And you, how do you welcome your own inner waves? Do you sometimes take 3 deep breaths before responding? Do you allow yourself to leave the room to return calmer? Kindness doesn't begin outside, it's cultivated within, in the art of speaking to yourself with measure, forgiving an impatience, returning to yourself without judgment. If a word goes too far, if a gesture escapes, you can take it back. Say I was harsh, I apologize, I'll start over differently, and this phrase becomes a lighthouse for everyone. It teaches that error isn't a final fault but a passage, that attachment can be repaired, that connection grows when it's spoken truthfully. In the subway or car, you can establish small emotional check-ins, a game of how I feel today, dinner table sharing, a moment of shared silence before lights out. So many anchoring points. Every detail matters, a folded towel, a note slipped into a pencil case, a joke whispered while walking to school. Daily tenderness draws a security that nothing can buy. Amidst these simple gestures, another force takes shape, that of not doing everything for the child, leaving them the chance to measure themselves against life, allowing hesitation, watching them climb on a low wall, letting them try a recipe, tolerating a slightly wrinkled notebook. These are bets on the capacity to learn, not abandonments. You can choose once a week an adjusted challenge, organizing a drawer alone, choosing tomorrow's outfit, paying the baker while giving change, then celebrating the effort, not just the result. Trust strengthens when it's concrete, when you say, I'll let you try, I'm right behind you, and you really stay right behind. Courage doesn't consist of avoiding the fall, but guaranteeing presence on the ground and an outstretched hand to get back up. This is how limits become landmarks, not walls. How do you feel this balance between protecting and letting go? Where would you place the boundary that reassures without imprisoning? What simple attempts can you allow starting this week? You're not a caped hero, you're a human being who makes informed micro-decisions, held with consistency, revisited with flexibility. This is what builds peaceful autonomy. If this approach to motherhood resonates with you, I want you to know that your support makes all the difference. When you subscribe and hit that notification bell, you're not just following a channel, you're joining a community of mothers who choose authenticity over perfection. Your subscription allows me to continue creating content that truly serves you, content that honors the beautiful complexity of motherhood without sugarcoating it. Each view, each comment, each share tells me that these words matter, that we're building something meaningful together. So if you haven't already, please subscribe now and become part of this journey where we explore what it really means to love our children well. In this learning, you may have discovered a wise truth: your wounds aren't tools to place in small hands. The pain you carry deserves an adult space, a journal, a friend, a therapist if needed, a walk in the woods, a bench facing the ocean, not the worried ear of a child who would want to console you. You can say, today I'm upset and I'm going to take 10 minutes to breathe. I'll be back. This phrase protects, it separates worlds, it diffuses guilt in the youngest. By speaking clearly about what belongs to you, you offer your child permission to have their own feelings without carrying yours. It's a gift of inner freedom. This ecological loyalty, protecting others from your overflow, requires emotional hygiene, going to bed a bit earlier, limiting tiring screens, drinking water, walking, writing, so many small things that support calm. You have the right to ask for help, to say, I need an evening alone, I need you to take over, I need a Sunday nap. Taking care of yourself isn't luxury, it's responsibility. Have you noticed how everything seems clearer after a brief nap, a simple meal, a warm bath? These ancient gestures are keys, they return thought to its path. When the house is tense, you can put play back in the gears, a gentle playlist, dinner without the table with French toast, 2 lit candles, deliberate laughter, beauty soothes. It's also in these places that culture becomes support, a song heard 1,000 times, a movie watched together on a rainy evening, a poetry excerpt on the fridge. Collective memory reassures. We could quote an old melody that speaks of waiting and courage, hummed while tidying the kitchen, a discreet nod to this country where we know how to face challenges with gentleness. Allow me a breath in the heart of this journey. This voice speaking to you today exists because of your engagement. Let's return to what's at stake when we learn to disappoint without destroying, to say no without hurting, to let incompleteness exist. There comes an age when a child looks at their mother like looking at a familiar mountain, solid but not magic, beautiful but not flawless, and that's perfectly fine. Idealization had to fade to let esteem come, the real kind, that accepts the other doesn't fill everything, that they're different, sometimes absent, often imperfect. In these moments, your ability to set a limit becomes a compass. I can't buy you this, I can't come right now, I don't know how to answer now. So many phrases that structure reality. For them to be received, you can wrap them in warmth. I understand your disappointment, I hear your desire, I'm saying no, and I stay with you. It's a refusal that doesn't reject. You can also plan healing appointments, shared hot chocolate, a park walk, improvised dessert, an invented story. Waiting becomes bearable when anchored in time. The child then learns 2 things: that the world doesn't bend to their desire, and that love doesn't disappear when desire is thwarted. It's a foundation for life. This silent pedagogy continues when it's time to let go. Accept larger space, a bus taken alone, a new school, a key handed over, university departure with a suitcase too big and a scattered heart. Releasing the hand without releasing the connection. That's the art. Trusting the markers you've patiently placed, accepting not knowing everything, discovering through fragments, receiving a brief message instead of a long story. You can create peaceful separation rituals, a Monday text, a Wednesday call, a Sunday evening sky photo, so many traces that say I'm thinking of you without invading. Trust doesn't mean indifference, it's an open gaze that believes in the other, respects their secrets, doesn't demand total transparency to feel secure. How do you feel when silence lasts? Can you breathe in the interval? Can you turn your attention to your own life, your friends, your projects, your body speaking to you? Because motherhood doesn't replace existence, it passes through it, it adds to what you are, it takes away nothing that can't be found again. You have the right to read at a cafe, run along a canal, take a class you've wanted, cook for pleasure not just duty, put on lipstick for no reason but joy. Your body deserves tender listening, walking a little each day, stretching upon waking, drinking a large glass of water, dancing in the kitchen, choosing clothes you can breathe in. So many allies for lighter mood. You can also make peace with the mirror, speak to your image like an old friend, say thank you for what it carries, recognize its fatigue, honor its scars. This intimate dialogue spreads contagious peace. In the bathroom, a few gestures suffice, cream applied slowly, orange blossom oil, a hand on the neck. These discreet attentions repair over full days. At the table, simplicity remains an ally, homemade soup, a piece of cheese, seasonal fruit, better modest consistency than exhausting perfectionist quest. Your energy is precious. To avoid being caught in the mad rush, you can establish islands of slowness, 10 minutes of silent reading, guided breathing on a cushion, warm foot bath, early Friday bedtime. These micro parentheses teach your nervous system security. Calm becomes a skill, not luck. You become the serene captain of home again. At the heart of relationships, listening continues to weave. You can try the 3-sentence technique. I rephrase what you say, I say what I feel. We seek together one small concrete action. This simple structure avoids many quarrels. When tension rises, you can move the scene, walk outside 5 minutes, change rooms, drink water. Geography soothes the spirit. Arguments die because the body calms.
In conversations, avoid whys that trap and prefer hows that open. How could you approach this? How can I help you? How will we do if this happens again? How invites creativity. You can establish a solution box on the fridge. Everyone slips in an idea when things get stuck. We pick a suggestion in the evening. We sometimes laugh at wild proposals. The important thing is trying. And you, what do you need to feel more stable? Time alone, light bath, phoneless walk, conversation with a friend who understands without judging. Make the appointment with yourself. There's also the art of saying thank you for setting the table, thank you for the joke that relaxes, thank you for the offered hug. Named gratitude makes people want to repeat it. It creates a virtuous circle. The house benefits from being lived like a workshop. We make mistakes, we test, we progress, we rest, we laugh. Perfectionism is a too tight costume. Leave it in the closet. When you catch yourself comparing, breathe and return to what's true. Your family has its rhythm, its color, its moods. The essential remains loving, without crushing, encouraging without commanding. Perhaps you still hear a small voice saying you should have. You can respond gently, I do my best with what I know, and each day I learn. This phrase reopens the present. There exists simple wisdom. We don't prepare the future by smoothing everything. We prepare it by learning to dance with difficulty, finding inner stability in movement itself. Your child watches you live more than they listen to your ideas. They learn through your ways of recovering after fatigue, recognizing an error, starting over calmly, laughing at yourself without disparaging yourself. Your humility is treasure. It says dignity doesn't need perfection. Strength harmonizes with flexibility. Truth is more solid than facade. In the evening, before sleeping, you can note 3 macro successes. I kept my voice calm during the crisis. I drank water before responding. I said thank you for a gesture. These gathered gold drops become a river of confidence. In the morning, you can set a modest intention. Today I speak slowly. Today I allow myself a walk. Today I listen without interrupting. One chosen thread sufficed to weave the day. In periods when everything seems too much, you can ask for concrete help. Have a dish delivered. Delegate cleaning. Accept a carpool. Receiving isn't falling, it's growing in humanity. Your couple, if it exists, benefits from being nourished with the same kindness. Quiet conversation, shared calendar, offered laughter, screen limits. Parental bond quality supports children's peace. And if you're alone, your strength is no less admirable. Surround yourself with allies, a neighbor, a heart sister, a colleague, an association. Solidarity is everyday science. On weekends, a simple excursion can renew home's air. A walking market, garden stop, free museum first Sunday, picnic under a plane tree. American beauty is never far. Culture becomes a traveling companion, telling a country story, talking about a painter, singer, athlete, showing that life paths are plural, that the future doesn't have just one door. Over the years, motherhood transforms. We accompany a child becoming grown. We discover ourselves differently, a bit lighter, a bit more demanding where needed, a bit gentler where it helps. You can offer yourself a transmission notebook, writing recipes, memories, phrases that carried you, not to impose a path, to offer memory, fertile soil. When you think of past times, don't count lacks, count presences. Those game evenings, those trip mornings, those hands washed together, those tables cleared while singing. All this composes solidity. Children keep the sensation of the gaze placed on them, kind and clear, that doesn't confuse them with their grades, anger, successes, that sees behind gestures the person being built. You too deserve this gaze. Place it on yourself. See the sustained effort, faithfulness to post, courage of comebacks, tenderness offered even when you had no reserves. See the woman you've become. There's no official diploma. There are traces on hearts, reassuring habits, warming memories, tools transmitted almost without thinking. This is where presence value is measured. If worry returns, you can respond with an image, a forest path, sometimes mist, sometimes light, and your hand on the shoulder of the one walking near you. That's what counts. Ask yourself tonight what you're proud of. Patience, laughter, listening, useful renunciation. Write it somewhere. Give it existence. Offer yourself recognition no one will think to give you. You've opened doors, accepted turns, carried suitcases too heavy, then learned to put them down. This invisible work made visible impulses possible. Assumed choices, returns to calm. On duller days, it's allowed to reduce expectations. Single dish, sheets pulled without perfect fold. Living room that lives, shortened to do. Saving energy is a form of love. The world asks for much and very quickly. You can respond with voluntary slowness, with network-free times, with aimless walks, with eye-to-eye conversations. Meaningful presence is contagious. You also have the right to dream for yourself. Training, modest trip, balcony garden, Tuesday dance, project attracting you for years. Desires don't expire, they wait. The more you inhabit your life, the more your children learn that a woman can love herself without diminishing herself. Pursue a flame without forgetting others. Stand upright without hardening. And if asked what makes a good mother, you can answer simply, a good mother isn't a statue. It's sincere presence, flexible consistency, faithfulness to reality. She doesn't deny shadow. She learns to illuminate it. She doesn't abolish failure. She makes it a clear-sighted teacher. She doesn't hold back the other. She teaches them to leave feeling connected. This way of loving doesn't seek applause. It builds beings capable of listening, choosing, repairing. Adults who know the flavor of authenticity. When a grown child takes their path, it's not loss, it's accomplishment. They don't take away love, they extend its momentum elsewhere. They carry home temperature with them. You can then turn toward your own horizon, catch your breath, cultivate your connections, offer yourself new first times, welcome other seasons. Existence keeps its promise. Perhaps tonight another worry will pass. Let it slide like a cloud. And remember that the question that matters isn't did I succeed at everything, but did I love with truth and consistency? Each time you chose sincerity over facade, each time you prioritized connection over performance, you transmitted a philosophy that protects. This philosophy summarizes in a few verbs: see, listen, name, frame, encourage, let go, repair, thank, begin again. It's a rosary of ordinary acts that changes an entire life. If you fear lacking again, remember children read intentions. They perceive your concern to be fair. They'll remember it the day they choose in turn. And if regret bites a little, transform it into learning. Write what you'll do next time. Say it aloud. Place a discreet reminder on the fridge. Give form to your desire to move forward. Tomorrow rarely depends on one big decision. It depends on small steps repeated often. Placed gaze, softened voice, gesture placed more slowly. Ultimately, being a mother means consenting to human truth. Yours, theirs. Making your home a laboratory of solid kindness. This rare mixture of gentleness and structure. You've already begun it. Each day adds a stone. Some wobbly, others perfectly fitted. The whole tells a story of love and courage. What will be kept of you? Perhaps your way of saying good morning, kissing the temple, laughing sideways, singing while cutting carrots, walking fast in drizzle. These tiny gestures are continents. You're not required to dazzle. You're invited to last, to return, to repair when necessary, to thank the simple, to entrust window flowers with the mission of reminding you of beauty. So when the question comes again, am I up to it? You can answer gently, I'm on the way, I'm attentive, I learn, I get back up, I love as I can, and often that's enough. And if these words echo in you, tell in the comments a moment when you chose presence over perfection. Your story can comfort another woman asking herself the same questions tonight. Subscribe if you haven't already, activate the bell to be notified of the next video, and above all, keep close to your heart this quiet certainty: your human way of loving has already changed your loved one's world.